Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Show. Another day in the office, really. Another day in the office. We got PulseChain on the move, and of course we're going to talk about all the markets and updates there. But we're going to have a bit of a check out about Hex, and of course getting back to a forked all-time high and of 37x from here. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to get into a little bit of pumponomics today about PulseChain, as well as cover the stock market and everything else. So it's going to be a bit of a fun show. We got Brian in the house there. Sup, folks? Good to see you, Brian. I hope you're doing well up there. And it is nice and sunny where you are. Nice and sunny. We got Hedgehog as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. Get excited. Absolutely. And don't forget to share the show on X as well. If you haven't shared the show, it just takes a moment to repost. That's how easy it is. So a big shout out there for doing that. And yeah, we're going to get into it. We've obviously had a lot of busy week. We had a busy week this week on the old PulseChain, and a lot of projects doing a lot of cool things. So very, very cool. We've had we've got Christine in the house there. Hey, Christine, good to see you as always. And we've got Sean O'Malley. Enjoy the ride. Happy days are coming. They are indeed. We are right there. We're right there. It's going to be pretty fun, guys. It's going to be pretty fun indeed. All right. Without further ado, let's get into it. I'm just having a look here. Yeah, what I was going to cover anything on my main channel. Let's see there. No. I've sort of done all that. So we're going to get straight into the stock market then. That's where we're heading. And talk about that. So we've got Hexvader in house. Hey, gang, good to see Hexvader. Big shout out. It's actually winter down under here in New Zealand. It is sunny, though, today. Very sunny indeed outside. You know, chill wind, but otherwise sunny. Got the fist pump from there from Brian, so that's probably time to start. Let's get into it. All right. So, yeah, we got the stock market there closing record highs again. S&P 500 on the move. Record high again on trade optimism deal. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Japanese trade deal. The Dow Jones there at 1.1 and 1/14th. What's that? 1 and 1/14th percent there. 507 points. That's a massive jump. That's a massive jump there to 45,000 on the Dow Jones. That's crazily good. Let's have a quick look at that on the Dow Jones. Yeah, I mean, breaking all-time high records here. It's just insane. We got the S&P 500 as well, pushing to new all-time highs. Look at that, up 0.75%, 50 points to 6,358. Records are being made. Man. We're expecting this to continue, right? NASDAQ as well, up 0.6%, 127 points to 21,000, pushing new highs there. This is just awesome. Here, welcome to the fourth industrial revolution with the intelligence age. It is pretty exciting. So, we've got Bitfinex says Hex can do a 37,000x. It could totally happen, especially when people see that it can't be killed. Long live Hex. Yeah, well, it's certainly going to go way higher, isn't it, Bitfinex? That's for sure. Sup, B? Hey, good to see you. And let's go. Let's go break it down a little bit. We've got the trade deal optimism heats up after the US-Japan trade deal. You guys remember we've got the 1st of August deadline coming up. We have Europe coming in tomorrow, and the next day we have some other ones coming in as well, said President Donald Trump. And, of course, the deal would avoid the 30% tariffs on EU imports, which is set to come into effect on August the 1st. The news comes after US President Donald Trump announced via social media posts that his administration had signed a massive deal with Japan, under which imports from the Asian country will face 50% tariffs. The 15% levy is smaller than the 25% tariff initially threatened by the president. Trump also said that Japan will invest $550 billion. This is new capital, and particularly directed into key sectors, and will also open its markets to bring in more American automobiles and agricultural products, especially rice. So it's very exciting for American exporters. Trump's announcement highlights some progress in Washington towards reaching a trade deal for August the 1st deadline. So one of the big 10 coming in, making another deal there. Trump's tariffs have remained a key point of uncertainty, especially amid warnings for analysts and the Federal Reserve that they could underpin inflation in the coming months, although we haven't really seen that so far, and expecting if we do get any inflation uplift, that will be modest. We do have a bit of, inventory restocking and things like that would be some of the arguments for that. But we had Tesla and Google, Alphabet are set to report their second quarter. So we've got some of the Magnificent Seven after the bell on Wednesday. And I think Alphabet did come in already, I think, and it came in very well, as far as I remember. So, yeah, the two will be among the first Wall Street so-called Magnificent Seven to retort this earnings season. So, that I expect the futures already to be rallying on that. Let's have a look. Well, 500's up slightly, but the US 30's down. So we'll keep a lookout for that tomorrow. But the big Magnificent Seven, the big part of the market cap as well for stocks is going to be on the move. Let's have a look at the commodities. We've got West Texas, $65.50. Brent oil at $68.76, both up slightly. We've got gold there at the moment, up slightly as well, $3,400. And silver just holding off, trying to break above that $40 mark. And that is sitting at $39.56. I know some people that will be very happy about that. Silver, they're on a run. And, of course, the fourth industrial age of intelligence would mean that silver is going to be in big demand. So we may see the ratio flipping there with the gold, as silver is in much more demand in electronics goods, etc. So that's something exciting in the future. Let's go to crypto, shall we? And have a look at that. Crypto at the moment, we've got the total market cap at 3.944 trillion. So we were over 4 trillion yesterday. We're down 6.2%, and that is based on 17,777 coins. At the moment, we've got Bitcoin is down 1% at 18,655. We've got Ethereum there. It's down 3.1%, so just off the top there, local top at 3,630. We've got XRP down 10%, down at $3.19. So all the benefits from the Genius Act and all that just wearing off a little bit there on XRP. BNB at number 5 is down 1.6%, $776. Solana, which has had a nice little run, is tapered off there, 7.7% down at just $190. Number 9, Dogecoin, down 10.7% at 20.4 cents, I should say, down with XRP, similar decrease. And then number 10, we've got Cardano or ADA, down 9.6% at 82 cents. So sitting there is where it's at the moment. I'm just looking at the market cap. There's only about $250 million difference between Tron and Cardano there, fighting for number 10 spot. So there's been a few flippenings as we've noted. Further down, we've got Hyperliquid down at number 13, obviously being a bit of a star, and so on. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Let's have a look at the best performer over the last week. Over the last week, the best performer has been still Doge, up 11.9%. Top 100, Pudgy Penguin still performing very well, up 39% and up 2.2% today, sitting at number 53. So meme coin city in the house there. Flare is up 25.9%, down 4.1% today. And Athena there, number 3, up 24%, down 9.2% today. So those are top 100s. Looking at the top 1,000, top gainers, we've got Definitive, Spark, and Sahara AI. And they're all up pretty nicely. Let's have a look at Definitive quickly. At number 969, so just entered the top 1,000 from the looks of it. It's only been around since April the 2nd and has just been on a bit of a pump last couple of days, 22nd. And we're sitting at 7 cents. It's now at 16 cents. It's on, is it PulseChain? Yeah. We've got that on there. We've got PulseChain, and then we've got, let's go to the website. It's on-chain trading platform. So definitive.fi. It's got a pretty cool little UI there. And that is on the mix there right now. So that is Edge. Might be one to look out for on that. What else we got going? We got Spark as well. So look at that. So Spark is number 338, so a lot higher. And it's just been on a tear. Look at that. So it's only been around since the June the 17th. And it's just started to rally July the 21st. And it is on a tear. So pretty much, I don't know, what's the bottom here? Let's say it's 3 cents. Now it's 16 cents. So on the move there. That's on Ethereum. And yeah, pretty exciting there happening there. So SparkFi, let's go have a look at the website as well. Spark there, earn on your stablecoin. So obviously benefiting from the Genius Act and all the stablecoin stuff there. Maximize your stablecoin yield with transparent rates with your USDC, USDS, and DAI. There, I guess that maybe they're trying to say USD. I don't know what they've got there on Tether, but they got Spark lending as well and savings. So that is Spark on the move and re-rated pretty strongly there. 338. I can't imagine that not continuing on. Obviously, it'll need a bit of a cool down on the RSI, but that could, on the old stablecoin narrative, that could continue to run up. Let's see here. What else we got? What else we got going there? Let's jump into some of this. We've got Sahara AI. So let's quick look at that. That's number 3 on the old top performers. It's been around, it's not ranked number 256, so even higher. It's at 14 cents. It's been as low. It's only been around since when? 27th of June as well. Pretty similar time to the other one. 7 cents, and is now up at 13.9 cents. A real tear the last couple of days. And it's on Ethereum. Let's have a look there. Let's have a look at the it's an AI one, right? So Zara AI, built for AI developers, open for everybody, platform that everyone can create and monetize AI models, data sets, and applications. So it seems to be doing pretty well. And they've got solutions, etc. on there. So or they've got a marketplace. So we've got a look, AI marketplace. They've got a developer platform as well. So that seems to be doing pretty well on there. Let us know in the chat there if anyone's playing around on the old Zara AI. And that's on the move. So we'll see where that goes to as well. Market cap still 300 million, still 300 million there. So those are the top ones there in the top 1,000. Trending is Encrypt, Pump Fund, and Zora. Pump Fund, pretty controversial in some ways. I have been on the side of this very primitive kind of site. But anybody can launch their own token on there and stream from their bedroom. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But they've just basically raised heaps of money and taken most of the money. It's probably the end game for Pump.Fund. Zora there is up 21% as well. So those are the trending ones there. So yeah, market cap just under 4 trillion. Bitcoin holding at just under 119,000, and Ethereum just back off the local highs there. 3,600, but of course we're expecting Ethereum to continue its run towards that Tom Lee target for the year, potentially $15,000 US, and you guys know all happens pretty quickly, and it may be very well the interest rate catalyst that really seals the deal for that coming up. So kind of cool. Who else is in the chat there? We've got Neil for T-shares. Good to see Neil. Hey. Who else we got? We got Brian in the house there. We got Brian in the house there. We got Hexcavator, Hexagon token. Brian keeping the chat safe. I appreciate that, Brian. All right, nice. This is a PG channel there. So Super Merrick there. Just keep it friendly, please. And it's a PG channel. Yeah. So yeah, you know what to do, Brian. When in doubt. All right. So let's jump over here to that, and we got the GoPulse results. So we're on GoPulse talking about PulseChain. It's day, what day is it? Day 803 since PulseChain launched on 30th of May 2023. And we've got the price of Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0322, down 2%. We've got PulseX at the moment at quadruple 0237, down 4.8%. We've got Ink token there at down 3% at $1.56. And Hex at the moment, 0.7 of a penny, is actually up 1%. So it's kind of the main topic of the day anyway. And we've got EHEX at 0.2 of a penny. So combined price of EHEX and PX at 0.9 of a penny. So we're just below 1 cent. There we go, just below 1 cent right now. And we're going to be talking about Hex today. So let's do that. Gas prices. We got 1.4 million beats right now. And we've only got 2 cents for a PulseX swap, so not too bad. Validators at the moment, 52,150. Pretty similar to yesterday. We had a little bump yesterday, so it's slightly higher. And the bridge, we've been watching that pretty carefully. 95 point, just under 96. So we're down about $1 million on the value from yesterday. But we haven't cracked that 100 million again, but I think that's coming pretty soon. We did see the bridge, I think, was slightly positive yesterday. $250,000, I think it was. So we'll keep track of that. I need to update my bridge data, but I it's partly updated, so I've got to continue on with that today. So hopefully we'll have that for tomorrow's live stream. Kind of cool. That is where we are at the moment on the old GoPulse. Now we're going to get into some of the bullish stuff around Hex, of course, and we're going to talk about Hex here. So let's pull out the chart. And Brian says, haven't swung in a while. Feels kind of good. Just saying, yeah. People come in with their own rules and their own behaviors, try to wreck chats. It's time for goodbyes, isn't it, Brian? Yeah, if you guys are out there, folks, don't forget to share the show on X. That is the link right there. So if you're sharing is caring. We're going to get into Hex, of course, and the Pumpamentals. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And let me just split the screen here. We might go full screen maybe. And check out. Let me just fix some stuff up here. And go for gold. Bam, we're going to hide that. We're going to open that up, hide that. All right, very cool. And we're going to go full screen. All right, I love the split studio in the background. You can set things up and then just pass it through to the new one. It's kind of neat like So yeah, we've got Hex at the moment, and it's been playing out pretty well. Let's see here. So we've got this nice green chart. If this plays out as well as the Ethereum prediction, then yeah, it's looking very good, isn't it? Looking very good indeed. Woo, says Brian. We got Blair in the house as well. Hi all. Good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. Big shout out. All right, so yeah, we got to get some action here on the old Hex chart. We're going to see something like this that we had back in November last year through to the end of November. We're going to see something like that coming up for the old future there. I'm not sure if Brenton's in the chat there, but let us let you know your opinion. Might get Brenton on the show sometime. But this is the daily chart. We're going to see something like that. We have broken that first resistance line. See that second angular line. So that was we have broken that. So that's positive, right? So that's bullish. And then of course we want to break this big one here, right? This big one here. And so we are heading towards it, guys. We are heading towards it. The RSI is a little hot on the daily right now. A little hot on the daily. The 4-hourly there has cooled off, and of course we can see that in the chart right now. So a little consolidation here, not too bad. But we have on the 4-hourly, we do have a kind of the right direction for the chart. So we've got a bullish. We've actually got a golden cross on the 4-hourly. So we had that back on the 20th there, and we have continued to go up here. So it's pretty nice. We have broken that angular resistance as well on the daily. And we do have the shorter time frames, the 9 and the 34. We also have the 9 there going up as well. Sorry, we already had a bullish cross on the 9 over the 34, and then we had a bullish cross on the 50 over the 200. So we had both the sort of the short term and long term moving averages all go bullish. Now we've got a kind of a consolidation here, which is nice to see. We're kind of getting this little nice consolidation here for Hex, which I think is kind of cool. Can we just maybe we'll just get a little bit of just an idea of what that looks like? So, this is kind of nice there. If we can just sort of hold that pattern and then go for another move, right? We've got all the moving averages, everything looking kind of good. We just need to probably consolidate after that first move. And if we can hold a high level there around the 0.7 of a penny, then we're looking pretty good, right? Obviously, the rest of the market's holding up real nice with ETH breakout. Obviously, the strategic reserves holding real nice. So yeah, it could be pretty good from here. So we'll keep going there. Now on the longer time frame, of course, on the weekly, we can see where we are, and so we're off the bottom, but we're still trying to make it start tracking up there. We've got plenty of room in the RSI at 46, so we've got tons of room to move for a big move like this green area is talking about. And of course that would take us into September, which is the interest rate cut period, right? So we're getting all the bullish economic news. Trump's strategies are rolling out very nicely. 1st of August is going to be a key date, right? So we're coming up to that. So that's like 2 weeks away, a week and a half away, and so maybe a week away. And so we got that coming up. And then if we get more trade deals done, even Europe, if Europe comes through, then the market will be pretty happy about all that. And we've pretty much got a lot of the big countries out of the way. We've still got South Korea to come, and I think India to some degree. But I think India, we'll see where that lands too. So, but that's getting closer and closer. And then the interest rate cuts. I don't think we're going to get anything this July with the interest rate meeting, but probably September is the one that we're looking at pretty keenly for a rate cut. And let's see how that goes moving forward. So that's probably the big indicator there. And then Hex can do some wonderful things into the end of the year, right? Which is into the end of the year, which will be about here. Where are we going here? So it's the end of the year pretty much there. So on the weekly. So yeah, bring it on. Plenty of room for a nice, beautiful run up with the big move for Hex. Now, obviously, to do that, we need obviously capital also to come into the chain. So we're keeping a lookout for that. We have had bullish trend on the bridge, but we haven't had a breakout, a real breakout yet in volume. But that's it looks like it may be coming. So we'll keep a lookout for that, and I'll try and do an update on the bridge tomorrow. So that's kind of cool on the old Hex. And this is the chart here. So the idea was for if we're going to get back to the all-time high, which is for Hex, depending on whose chart you're looking at, right? Some people it's 52 cents, other people it's 56 cents. But if you let's just take the lower level, the 52, and we'll divide it by 2 for the fork, right? We had a fork on the 10th of May. 2023 for EHEX and PHEX. Obviously, there's different prices on those now. 7/10 of a penny for PHEX and 2/10 of a penny of EHEX. We'll just take a 50 a fork. That'd be 26 cents. And so therefore we've got to go from 0.007 up to 26 cents. That's the basic logic there. And so that would be where we're going to head on the chart here, right? So if we had 26 cents, then that would be a rise from where we are right now. And so that would just take us up to 26 cents or so. So that would be up here, and that would get us to a 37x, right? So 3,600%, and that would give us this sort of this target around here. Let me just, I think it's on that one. So that would be about here. That would be our target, right? So we've got a bit of work to get there, of course. Now, obviously, PulseChain PHEX is tied with Pulse. So obviously, you raise Pulse, then it's going to be a lot easier to get there if Pulse goes up. And the ratio of Hex versus Pulse goes up. So people demanding Hex more as a leverage, then you get there a lot faster, right? So 26 cents. And then that's just our modest goal, right? That people are talking about multiple dollars, tens of dollars, but we're going to keep it nice and just back to the all-time high target. And that would be a 37x from where we are today. What are some fundamentals that's going to get us there? Well, let's have a quick look at some of these. And let's see. So PHEX there, 37x fundamentals. Back to all-time high, as a forked assumption. That was our assumption. So obviously recent moves we've had on the chain. We've got obviously PulseChain developers continue to launch. We've seen a lot of stuff in a lot of areas, both from utility and infrastructure through to DeFi and ROI protocols and GameFi. So I've seen things across a lot of those different areas. Tri-stables, we saw Richard Hart set up the tri-stables, and I think it's been very successful between USDC, USD Tether, and DAI on PulseX, and that's very, very good. It helps to allow bigger people to come in and trade through those stables. So very cool. Incentive inflation cut 20x on the old INC token for the PulseX incentive farm, and that's reduced inflation down to 2,600 or 0.03 ink a day, making only a very rare, relatively rare incentive token. A good candidate, of course, for the potential PulseX DAO as well. And then, of course, we've got the PulseX farms. What got thinned out, right? So we've got thinner liquidity, which means we can go down way faster on the pool, but we can also go way faster on the upside too once we get that uptrend. So that's happened as well. Pump.tires got launched, of course, so giving an alternative to fork coins and any compromised coins. It gives you an opportunity there, and of course to do memes, and gives obviously whoever's controlling Pump.tires, aka, give a lot more control and ownership over that supply as well. We know I think there's something like a dozen or so coins that are signed, generally associated with Richard Hart. So let's go into the next one. We've got Hex, SAC, and Genesis Wallet stakes T-share payouts. So obviously we saw a little bit of short-term staking. Then we saw suddenly the OA Sacrifice Wallet's doing a lot of ladder staking and bringing the T-share rate dramatically down. I mean, it was dramatic. We knew it was always an option for inflation control, and that was finally happened. So it was pretty dramatic. 7.5 Hex per T-share all the way down to 1.5. And of course, how do you compensate for that if you've done such a centralized modification of the yield? Well, you have to the price needs to rise, right? So this is another catalyst for the price rising in Hex dramatically, and it all happened very quickly, as you guys know. In crypto, you can be down at these prices for months and months and months, and think it's never going to go up, and then the next minute suddenly it runs away on you, and you're wondering, hey, how did they get to 10 cents? How did they get to 10 cents? What the heck? And then you missed the boat, right? So just remember, it's just like the way down, and then once you're down on the price 99%. You stay down for ages, and then it returns back on the upside, assuming there's potentiality for funds to do that. And of course, we have those catalysts listed here, right? So that is the big drama, and of course that lowers inflation, and there's less inflation around there for the bigger players. And we've already seen some big players leave, right? Last week we saw a ginormous player leave, selling hundreds and hundreds of millions of Hex, right? Fetch Oracle, we had that launch. And I don't know how many people are using that in terms of protocols and calls, but they're certainly having activity on it. And we're looking forward to more happening in the Oracle space, because PulseChain didn't have an Oracle. And so, people are running their own centralized oracles, as they say, in some of the protocols. So it's good to see a decentralized oracle there from Liquid Loans. We also got the SEC case victory, right? Once and for all. We had that. The final nail in the coffin was only this month in July, 7th of July. So that was super hyper bullish. So we're all heading in the right place there. And it actually gives us, a case law defending PulseChain, as most cryptos don't have that. And so it made Hex and PulseChain stronger in many ways. Bring it on. So great victory there as well. And it just it takes those dark clouds over PulseChain. Obviously, PulseChain launched on the 13th of May 2023, and it was only on the 31st of July, only shortly after the SEC case got bought. And of course, it created a big dark cloud over the chain. We lost, tens of millions of dollars off the chain, and of course, it hanged heavy over the chain, despite attempts to pump PulseChain back. That was unsuccessful, given the dark clouds. And then we had, of course, had many black swan and grey swan events since then. But now that those grey clouds, those dark clouds, have gone since the 7th of July, and we're in a new beautiful territory where blue skies can shine and the sun can come out and raise its light upon us all. So we're just in the early days. Often when that does happen, the 7th of July, it's often a month or 2 months afterwards that we actually start to get the market moving. And so we start to get belief back in the market. So we're kind of, maybe halfway through that, right? Halfway through that now. All right, so PDI Maker, of course, closed down. Well, mostly closed down, as they say, with the old the old spell move there from the good old XUSD team, and that's made it much more scarcer in the old PDI. But it looks like we may have use cases for PDI coming up with Better Bank and others, modified forks of Aave. That could be light upon light there as well. And of course, it's still got its ambassador of Quan, as I say, good old Somi out there. The ambassador of Quan, or the ambassador of PDI, let's say. We got that. We got Richard Hart video. Of course, Richard Hart came out with the video, and of course that has been hugely appreciated, and we may get more of that in the future. But he dropped a lot of little things in there, telling the community stop dumping your own projects if you want it to go up. And of course, it's not as simple as that, right? We have bots trading and lots of people that are degeners and all this sort of stuff in the chain, so it's not always that easy. But Richard Hart was putting that out. Also talking about the fact that we may have God mode candles at any particular time, right? So we've had that too, coming from Richard Hart. One of those is right here.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.
So we had Richard Hart, pulling out stuff like that, which got everyone excited, right? So that was pretty exciting at the beginning of the year. We also had our first corporate giant on PulseChain, Sun Minimal, and institutions. And this is probably the one that's going to be the most interesting because it's still early days, but we're expecting a big listing for Sun Minimal, potentially, what month is July? Potentially August or September. So that could happen there, and that would open up institutions into PulseChain. So this is kind of maybe a lot of people probably haven't thought too much about that, but Sun Minimal, the European corporate a rising food giant, I would say, is pretty exciting. So they're looking to get their second production line online as well. We're going to post a little bit more about that. And they're basically expanded, but all their second level production's already sold out. So, and they're going to be doing a lot of special marketing stuff coming up in August, September, October. So there's a lot of cool things happening in that space over the next couple of months for Sun Minimal. You just got to be patient with these corporates. It's just like anything, they have to get. Sometimes they can front run themselves with their excitement, but actually delivering always takes a little bit longer. And we see that a lot with developers and code. 2 more weeks, as they say, 2 more weeks. Always, there's always some issues that surprise the best intentions, right? The best intentions, but that's potentially going to be a juggernaut. And already we see, maybe we see maybe 4 or 5 buy and burns at least a week, I think, coming through, which is probably 50, 60K. I think they can do probably 5 times more that, probably $250,000 a week. Based on their numbers from last year. So they are underplaying the buy and burn from what I can tell, but I'll come out with more of that. I'll do a specialty post on Sun Minimal. I'll give a big update about that, and including their production inside as well. If you haven't joined our strategy club, I well recommend joining that, because that's going to be a lot of the updates are going to be in there. So definitely join up strategy club. Links in the video description. Only $35 a month, so great value. So that's kind of it with institutions, and the institutions could be really massive. They've got a lot of windows into that, not only through Floyn, but also through the people that are doing business with in terms of expanding the client base with Sun and Memo, which is going to be fun to see. So that's really an investment if you think about it. So more 5 years. There are a lot of free coins, relatively speaking, by the holders. So it is very early in the stage. So the Achilles heel of Sun Mini Meal is the early holders that hold tons of bags, right? So we've seen one account in particular basically rolled the chart over the last couple of weeks. Excuse me, I've got hiccups there. For the last couple of weeks, that a big holder, I think they had 8.8 million coins, somewhere like that. They basically rolled the chart and sold all our way out. So they're out now, but they're a page 2 holder, and that's just what you get early on these things, right? And funnily enough, some of that stuff went into Hex. So there we go. So next one up is On-Ramp now, and Hex Scout and Liberty. Now we've seen really exciting things happening with the onboarding to PulseChain. This is fundamental if we're going to get that capital flow, and that capital flow is going to flow into Hex on PulseChain, let alone any other assets that are on PulseChain. So On-Ramp now has been bringing on tons of money through that, and so it's been pretty cool. Now the On-Ramp now, so let me just rephrase that. So Ramp now, I got On-Ramp now. Ramp now is the one that's bringing lots of capital on. We've also got Banksy sitting out there too. We're going to talk about it in a second. And of course, Hex Scout also is doing special fees through for Ramp now. And of course, we've also had Liberty. Like Liberty's blowing up, right? 7,000 followers, maybe 8,000 followers now, and that is using multi-chain. So we've got USDC coming through with Ramp now, and they normally do a couple of transfers a day. I think it is normally a couple a day. And it could be $30,000 to $60,000. And then we've got Liberty coming through doing tons of on-chain to on-chain. So they use the official bridge like anybody else. Just like Ramp now, they use the official bridge, but they do on-chain swaps. Basically, they provide the liquidity, and then they can settle you instantaneously, right? So that's very, very cool. And Ramp now, I think they went up to 10K limits, and then Liberty's just raising their limits slowly as well. They're expanding their stablecoins. So you can do USDC, USD Tether, and they're going to be doing more than that. And on the buy side, though, they've got a whole list of rich, PulseChain coins now you can actually buy. And they're adding more all the time. But the other side of it is not only are they doing stables and now broader PulseChain coins that you can buy, but they're also expanding the chains, which is massive, right? That is massive. The open chain system is going to be fundamental. And now they do base and BSC. But we're going to be looking at many other chains, which I think is going to actually help a lot for PulseChain flows, and not so much flows out, but actually flows in. I think it's going to be very positive for that. So keep a lookout for that. So that is pretty bullish. So this is all supporting funds coming onto PulseChain, lifting PulseChain, and potentially lifting Hex, right? So very excited about that. All right. So future moves. Obviously, we've got Public Whales, Rack and Michelle, and Firewhale out there. Rack and Michelle doing lots of cool stuff, and lots of AI, playing around with AI a lot, doing a lot of newsletters, doing probably a lot of paid promotions, which goes broader than the PulseChain community out there. And we're expecting a lot more from Rackham, doing a great job. We got Firewhale out there as well, the Public Whale, doing the old SolidX, and we're expecting that could be huge. We're expecting a pretty big marketing promotional budget that really, apart from some of the stuff that Rackham does, that will really be the first full scale, I think, marketing budget that we'll ever have on PulseChain. And so that's going to be super exciting. I'm not going to say it's the only one we'll ever have, but it's certainly going to be the first of what I would call significant potential budgets as far as the intel that I've received. So that'd be pretty cool. And of course, also including big influencers, not just on PulseChain, but on other chains as well. That is the word on the street. So it's going to be pretty cool. And that's pretty exciting. We're expecting 4 rollouts. We already had a little teaser with the old Telegram bot, but we're looking forward to the big decentralized crypto casinos. First game, of course, going to be the Crash game, X game, and it's going to have a big buying, burning. All those products are going to end up buying, burning SolidX. So it's very pumped for that, not just on PulseChain volume, but also multi-chain. So it really is an omni-chain strategy there. So very excited about that. So that's going to bring a lot of capital, and some of that could flow into Hex, right? So a lot of these things can help support Hex. And Banksy, of course, we're looking forward to that, to getting online. And they had a bit of a false start there with some of their price calls. Also, 2 other ramps are expected this year as well. And that, I believe, is coming via Sun Minimal, but we haven't heard a lot more about that yet. We were supposed to have one of those back in May, and then the other one was supposed to be in the third quarter, which is coming up where we are now, probably towards the end. So we'll keep a lookout for those other on-ramps. And of course, 3, we've got Signum Oracle. Obviously, we've got Fetch Oracle, but we're waiting for Signum Oracle. It's going to open up a ton of protocols. Particularly, what we're looking forward to there is the impact on PUSD ALGO, PulseChain's first true decentralized algorithmic stablecoin from Jacob, the creator, of course, of a Mafia game and on-chain bet, right? So we're looking forward to that. And that could open up massive new capital onto PulseChain. Let's be modest. Let's just say it's modest. Let's say it's $500,000. Let's say it's $1 million, somewhere in there. Let's say it's something like that. It's just similar to some of the liquidity forks that we have on PulseChain. Remember, PulseChain has probably 4 of the top 10 liquidity forks, and there's probably about 40 liquidity forks out there. So it's a pretty big deal. And so, yeah, we get another one there. Let's just say it's modestly successful and it does $500,000 to $1 million in stablecoins, similar to the liquidity forks. That would be pretty cool. Some of that capital may flow into Hex as well. So kind of cool. And of course, if it's hyper successful, could get into the millions and tens of millions, right? And of course, maybe the model even gets demanded on other chains. So that could be happening with the PUSD ALGO. We're obviously pretty bullish about that here as well. So Signum Oracle could unleash a lot. We're expecting Signum Oracle after Tetra. We got an update from Tetra just the other day. Tetra is going to be a full DeFi solution, democratizing interaction with smart contracts and other things like that people are going to be doing. That's another game changer for PulseChain. So yeah, we got Signum Oracle. And yeah, it could be unleashing new stable coins on PulseChain with PUSD ALGO, which I think is a pretty big deal. And I think it's Jacob's flagship protocol. So very excited about that. PulseChain developers, boom, DeFi, GameFi, NFTs, killer dApp. We're seeing that right now. We are seeing that right now. And so we've been talking about it a lot. We see it in the monster threads. If you're reading the weekly monster thread, I highly recommend you to. A lot of top tier stuff. A lot of the teams that are in there are teams that are proactive. They're not sitting back, doing their own thing, protecting their own little area. They're out there and being seen, which is fantastic. But not only out being seen, but they're actually bringing innovations and frontier DeFi to PulseChain, which is really, really exciting. So I'm thinking of the Emmets of the world, the Emmet farms. I'm thinking of Nexian farms. I'm thinking of Function Island farms. I'm thinking of new products that are coming with that have come with Axel, just launching peer-to-peer lending this in the last week. I mean, these are all new stuff they're offering into DeFi, and it's all on PulseChain. So we've got a lot of cool things happening on PulseChain that is only just beginning and only just people getting awareness. And awareness is the big thing, getting out there and making people aware. You can have the greatest product in the world, got to get people aware of it. And so that is just slowly, I would say, at the beginning of that. And we're going to see lots more of that as over the months ahead. Very, very exciting there. But we've got, Nexian's bringing Glow along. And that's going to have up to 10x leverage potentially for any token on the PulseChain. And that means anybody can do it. Anyone can set that up. You don't have to be a developer anymore. These guys are democratizing all these different products. So you don't have to, you don't have to be an expert in programming. You can make your own token. You can set up your own pools. You can reward your own pools. You can set up your own community. You can set up your own business, as it were. Anybody can do it through any of these protocols. And of course, we're also seeing innovations around stablecoin passive income, right? And then we've also got, whether it's a volatile asset or whether it's a stablecoin asset, all the stuff is coming through a lot of these cool farms. And then, of course, we've got other platform categories as well coming up with new DAOs. We've got the Surf Token DAO from, Crypto Paradise. They're now just gone to daily shows. So I can't really say I'm the only daily show out there amongst the significant large players now, because now we've got Crypto Paradise out there too, which is wonderful, because the more we have, the better. We want lots more people getting out there, spreading the word around PulseChain, and so it's a very, very cool. We're getting really good growth there. But look, there's a lot of cool DeFi, and you can see a lot of that in the monster thread every week, as well as out on social media as well, X Spaces and things like that. The things are really ramping up. So it's all about getting the engine going, and we're excited about where that's all going to head. Single side staking, we could very well see that on the old Pulse system stage. We'll see. Obviously, Incentive Token may be the token of choice there for the DAO. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Magic Outright, of course. We've caught how exciting that is for pretty much Ethereum to be, it's off a little bit today, but over the last couple of days, actually getting break even on the old Magic Outright. So we're looking forward to that with the PulseChain sacrifice. And not only that, but I talked yesterday in full about how potentially bullish that could be because we've got all these new players coming in to buy Ethereum. And of course, Tom Lee's, BitMine is already bought 300,000 ETH, looking to buy 6 million ETH, guys. Just think about it. And he's talking about $15,000 Bitcoin potentially by the end of the year. And that's not the top of the cycle. So, maybe we'll get to 25,000. That's certainly a number that I've seen Crypto Paradise, Nick Hellman talk about. And it's something that we've talked about in the past as well, that we may get the top of the cycle at 25K Ethereum. And now that has been supercharged and substantiated really by the Genius Act, and potentially, Secretary Scott Bessent talking about $2 trillion in stablecoins, maybe even 3.2 trillion market by 2030. So the multiplier effect and the circular effects of those are just ginormous, including, of course, the altcoin season where people get a bit tired of Bitcoin for a while, want to go and reallocate our capital and some of their gains into altcoins, and particularly Ethereum. And of course, that means that's going to benefit EVM chains, second layers, and of course, forks like PulseChain, and that all could potentially flow back into Hex, right? So pretty exciting there. So Magic Carp Ride, bring it on. And of course, that could directly lift PulseChain. Now, it could be used in multiple ways. It may just sit there as collateral over something. It may just be put into earning yield. All sorts of options are there, as opposed to just using it to buy up, because that would be a bit of a fool's game. But if we did get 15K, I mean, that's $2.5 billion, right? And if it got even higher than that, it just up and away. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And of course, just like Bitmine has valuation on the back of that, PulseChain could reasonably be considered a bit of a back on there as well. Remember, it was Richard Hart that got it put onto the Ethereum Strategic Reserve, right? So he was the one that instigated all that. So very bullish there. All right, Richard Hart streams. Now, obviously, this is a game changer. I think there's like this pressure building up. I don't think there's anybody out there that is even close to the engagement level that Richard Hart has, right? I looked at some of the big influencers out there. Some of their engagements are really low. But when Richard Hart gets out there, it's not just high, it's like mega high. And so I think, and after beating the SEC and being away for so long, and of course having, PulseChain and the crypto market moving into its, bull market cycle in the banana part of the curve, Richard Hart streams would be next level. I mean, it would just be next level. So yeah, you just never know. Obviously, we've still got the old problem with the Interpol red notice, and so we've still got that there. But I'm sure his lawyers are working on that. So yeah, maybe sooner than later with that. We're saying sooner than later. So keep a lookout for the extra heart streams. We certainly may very well get a black video soon. We're going to call it the black videos, the Nightingale videos. I don't know, whatever you call it. We're going to probably get that too. And of course, that would be hyper bullish for Hex. You'd be seeing massive candles on Hex very, very quickly, right? Very, very quickly indeed. We got Sean O'Malley in there with SolidX. Yeah, looking forward to big things from Firewell and SolidX there. Richard Hart streams, massive for Hex, right? Hex is God mode candle city, and often when he was streaming, because there'd be potentially tens of thousands of people watching, then you just get the chart would start going up on the old chart. So I'm very bullish for Hex to start moving there. Of course, Richard Hart's talked about, even in recent times, the Richard Hart wallet. And of course, we know that KG's got his internet money wallet out there, and it's been very successful, over 80,000 downloads and counting. But yeah, Richard Hart wallet is definitely doable. We'd like something that's probably similar to Rabby wallet, after Rabby wallet, for probably political reasons, their own politics, took down support for the PulseChain. Obviously, you can add the custom PulseChain, but all the price feeds and everything else, don't update. So Richard Hart wallet, that would be super popular, I think, super mega popular. Would it have a sacrifice in it? I don't know about that, but it would be a big way of sinking more supply. We'll keep a lookout for that. But that's definitely possible. We also got Richard Hart stable, right? So obviously we've been talking about PUSD ALGO, the big algorithmic stablecoin. Looking forward to that. But maybe Richard Hart also thinks about stablecoin setup as well. Obviously, people have had the old PDI maker theory, but that's largely been shut down. So maybe Richard Hart takes a different avenue. There are other DeFi protocols on PulseChain, and maybe some of those are optional options. So we'll see. But Richard Hart stable could be in the play. And of course, Richard Hart DeFi PulseX could do some more stuff with PulseX. Obviously, maybe handing over through the Master Chef contract the power to the INC token, or we'll see what happens there. But that is definitely all these things are bullish for Hex, right? And then of course community growth, boom, getting a breakout in the community growth, right? We haven't got there yet. We have not got there. Everyone can tell. Even in the general crypto market, we really haven't got the retail in there yet. But community growth could happen start happening at an increasing rate. And so that could be a bit of a breakaway at some stage as well. Certainly, I think would happen if Richard Hart came back streaming. And obviously, we'll get a lot more of that if we get green candles and the PulseChain starts moving up. Remember, with the previous things, we've thinned out a lot of liquidity. So we could see a lot of cool things there as well. And then eventually, of course, institutional. But like I say, Sun Minimal is going to be one way we're going to institutional investment. The other way might be through the old HEX investment trust, which we haven't heard much about now. But now that the SEC's been defeated, there's no reason why the HEX investment trust can't continue to push forward. I'm not sure how they're running that right now, but that could be pretty interesting avenue, and that might be the fastest way if they can get a Nasdaq listing as well for the HEX investment trust. I'm pretty sure they were pretty close to it, but of course HEX price was down so much, so probably need a bit of work on the capital. I think they need 50 people and $10 million. I think was the mark, if I remember rightly. And so but that onto Nasdaq, and that could be duplicated to not only HEX but also PulseChain and others. But maybe if they re-promote, that would usher a lot of capital potentially into not only the HEX investment trust but into HEX itself. So we may see that resurrected. I'm not sure what they're doing though, so just take note of that. Institutional lending could potentially come via that way as well. But in any case, I think Signum Minimal is going to be the institutional avenue that's going to be the easiest and quickest to get up and running. If institutions want to invest in Signum Minimal, that's a SOL token, then they can potentially also invest in some of the Richard Hart core coins, of course, which would include good old HEX. So that's some of the pump mentals, and of course, not only for HEX, but for a whole PulseChain. Bring it on. And we're going to probably see some of the stuff really start to take off from now, pretty much July, right? Since we beat the SEC, and we have that quiet period. We had the whale exit. We had a bit of relativity plays, but now I think we're getting into that period where it could get pretty friendly for the old chart. And of course, interest rate cuts is a big marker. That's something that Richard Hart will be looking at very closely. As interest rate cuts could be a real beacon of the real run on PulseChain here, and not only that, but on HEX. So that's kind of some of the cool stuff there. And of course, we can see at the moment, this is where the HEX chart is sitting, just getting ready to rumble, I would say. We've got some big milestones coming up. And of course, by the end of the year, we're going to have a rally into this green era into the end of the year. And of course, interest rate cuts, more good stuff from the Trump administration, and potentially get up to this big move here, back to the old time highs, and break way past that. Maybe by the end of the year, we could do a 37x, or even into the beginning of next year. Could be pretty exciting, and well beyond, no doubt, well beyond. Especially if we get some of these God mode candles that Richard Hart's been talking about, right? Because he told us, he indicated.
You could get a God candle at any moment. You could get a giant green candle at any moment, because it's easier to get them, because it takes less economic energy, because there's less of it for sale.
So there we go. It's already this been signaled, right? It's been signaled. We're certainly in that zone right now in the green era, and we'll see how high we get. Maybe it gets even bigger, right? Maybe it's something like that. So we shall see. It's going to be pretty fun. So that is the old HEX at the moment. Nice and friendly. Kind of cool. All right. So that's pretty much the HEX coverage. Let's get into, I just want to bring out the rest of the markets course. So let's talk about that. And we're going to have a quick talk about the good old Titanx and Taurus in a minute, but we're going to finish off our coverage of PulseChain. So we got at the moment we got 16. Let me see if we've got any comments in the chat there. We got $16.7 million. So yesterday I think we were doing about 18, 19 million. We're down from that, and earlier in the week we were doing 26, 28 million. At the moment we've got 270,000 transactions, which is not too bad at this level of volume. At the moment we've got Annie up at the moment, 12 hours, up 33,784%. So there's a nice little new mover there. I'm not sure who's pushed this out. Let's see if we can recognize any of this stuff. No, it doesn't really say. So obviously be careful out there. Check everything else. So we're not going to go through all the due diligence on that, but that is out. We had these launched yesterday, right? So 5 days ago, I should say, the HEX A and Blitzer here. They were giving out, I think reflections in HEX and PulseX and things. We had a whole group, 3 of them, didn't we? Launched with PSM, the PSM Blitz and HEX A. I'm not sure which team's running that, but they were all launching. They're still up today, 276%, 102%. So they're still on the move. Look at that big power move there with the buys. So getting pushed up there on that one. So let me know in the chat there if anyone knows which teams are running those, but they are definitely on. That was HEX, and then Blitz is PulseX. That's also on the rise as well. All the same setup on the details, so all the same team. And then we also had PSM as well. Obviously not financial advice, but these are still moving there. You can see the same setup there as well. Automatic pulse rewards to holders there on the move. What else we got going? We got Bull as well. Bull Hawthorne Gold. We saw this ecosystem come out a couple of months ago, didn't we? So we quickly look at that. That was what have I got this candle on? Yeah, so that's a couple of hours of new peering from looks of it, and that is out as well. Hawthorne Gold. This is part of another ecosystem, isn't it? And that is on the move. What else? We got Teddy Takeover, of course, been around for 3 months. Pump Tires, and of course Moon King and all that support this. Ian Heinisch up 22%, coming off the bottom. So may this very well continue. Certainly got a lot of room on the RSI. It's 57 now at 2700th of a penny. So that's got a lot of room there and way off the bottom. So could be a nice little investor there. Doge there, the pump tires as well, up 21%. Pepe pump tires at 1/10 of a penny, up 17%. Let's have a quick look at Pepe and on the pump tires there. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, that's had a nice little run, hasn't it? Nice little run from the bottom. How much is that up? Let's say from here, up 634% in 23 days. So great run there. You'd be up 7.3x. So if you put $1,000 in, you'd be up at $7,300. So there we go. That was on the move. Now, obviously, there's quite a bit of slippage there. 85k liquidity. So just take into account if you did put 1,000, but still, you'd be up a lot. What else? We got ADA pump tires. So we've got a lot of pump tires in the mix today, just like we did the other day. So up 9%, sitting at 0002863. We got GoPulse sitting at 11 cents. So it's kind of traded in this range, isn't it? 9 to 12 cents. The GoPulse still trading there at 5%. ALGO there on the back of Hex is sitting at 600th of a penny, and that's up 2.5% there. Hex, of course, is sitting at 7/10 of a penny, looking very good, isn't it? Hex is looking kind of really good. We just looked at that chart, but I think it's getting a nice little consolidation in that range, maybe getting ready for that big move up, as we say. We got comments from Hexvator. Bring on the God candles. Yeah, Pulseum says Hexvator. Nice price appreciation rewards from the Hexagon token on Pulseum Farm, says Hexvator. Nice. Thanks for the insight there. All right, so Pulseum Farms. What else we got going there? RSI oversold, up 2% as well. Lady Gaga up 1%, and we've got Surf Token there, which is almost at 1%. And the big announcement, of course, from the Crypto Paradise team is that they will be doing daily shows, which is fantastic. They obviously have huge followings, like 40,000 on most of their accounts. I guess if you add them all up, they're probably close to 160, 200,000 followers on there. And of course, that's at 1 cent at the moment, just coming off the bottom there. So I reckon this is a pretty amazing pickup. Obviously not financial advice, but if you've got 200,000 of these, you get into the DAO and get a lot of the benefits that they get access to. And they're now going to daily shows, which is fantastic. They're just an example of a professional big team. This may be an early sign of what things to come for PulseChain, getting them over on the chain. And so very excited about that. We got RhinoFi out there, of course, had a big launch. And this is one of the, I think these guys launched in conjunction with Crypto Paradise. They got coverage from them. So they're at 00058 right now. Consolidated pretty nicely, actually. So they've taken away the old RhinoFi. So we'll probably hear more about them as well. Kind of cool. So yeah, they're taking away there. Well, they got their earn auto rewards and pulse tokens. Burn charging wallet earns 50% of all the pulse rewards and adds it to a buy and burn contract. And they defend by dynamic sell tax deters snipers, pump rewards, and decays parity with 28 days. Every 28-day charging cycle, community rewards are fueled by market buybacks and burns if targets aren't met. Up to 10% of the charging wallet gets scorched to protect holders. So there we go. And the top 100 holders are auto-entered into random pulse lotteries. Kind of cool. So that is it's ticking away. The market seems to like it. The market's pretty stable in the price there. So yeah, just under $600,000 market cap. So it looks pretty early there for the old RhinoFi. There we go. What else is on the mix here? We've got number 26 at the moment is Fitzgerald, up just slightly as well. We've got a few little that are just green, like UpX token, Ink Dollar there from good old Fast Abdul. And then Sparta there on the back of Hex as well. That is just slightly down. So and then we've got some of our big ones here. For Investor, Solid X, of course, sitting at $9. Just down. We're just waiting for that decentralized casino, right? This is probably the biggest potential one to really moon. We're just waiting for that to happen as well. So yeah, it got up when it launched in the first 10 days, got up to $263. It is now at $9, but we're expecting it to have a second day in the sun with the big decentralized casino launching there with the multi-chain, omni-chain burn. Going to be pretty interesting to see that. Big. All right, we've got INC sitting there as well, $1.57. A lot of people expecting that to break up soon as well. What else there? Top Hat there from Crypto Coffee, just down a little bit there at 9 inch as well on the volumes. Is down, but we're 90mm is probably going to move pretty hard, I would say. We also got a couple of meme coins, Phoenix and Trump token there at number 55. X Game, of course, associated with SolidX, waiting for the X Game crash game to come out. So we're looking forward to that coming too. So there we go. We've got a lot, they're all out down slightly at the moment. Saw some millimeter down at 38 at the moment. Nice little pickup area for that after the big whale rolled the chart, right? One big whale rolled the chart. He's pretty much out from the looks of it. 8.8 million tokens gone. And who else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is pretty much a demure day, let's say, on PulseChain. Just one of those days. So that's pretty much it. We've got any comments in the chat. We've got the Erasm and what's it? Yazan. So when is the expected Pulse move? What is the reasonable and doable price? How many X's from SAC are we talking about now? Well, the show's on X today. The show is on Hex today, so that's the one we're covering. But we covered that all in the previous part of the show. You just came in, so you can rewind and watch that. All right, let's go back to Titanx. We're going into Titanx. It's had quite the pullback right now. So let's have a quick look here and let's go to the daily. So daily on Titanx here, we had this big run up, right? We're at 6 zeros, 1100. We ran up to 2700 and then we came back down to 1900 on the price on there. But let's have a look at the ETH ratio. That was even more severe. So we saw the ETH ratio there absolutely get hammered. So we were starting off here on the 3rd of July. We had a big rally in the ETH ratio there. So we're sitting at 10 zeros, 5,300. We got up to 10 zeros, 8,800. And now we're all the way back down to 10 zeros, 5,200. So absolutely slammed there. Obviously a relatively play into ETH as well, causing that to happen. But man, that was pretty aggressive. So still not out of the woods yet is the old Titanx there, even though it's sitting on tens of millions of dollars of Ethereum there. And of course, if we get to that 15K Ethereum by the end of the year, we're talking about $100 million sitting in the Titanx buy and burns across all the protocols. So let's see. It's certainly undervalued right now. I think we can say that safely. And that's markets for you. That is crypto markets. So yeah, crazy. Now even the DragonX ratio has succumbed. It was at 12.2 for quite a while. It's now dropped below 12. So it's 11.97. But the one we're going to be looking at, of course, is a good old Taurus, which has been performing pretty well. It's early days, but it's certainly got some exciting tokenomics. Let's have a quick look at that on the old Taurus. And of course, that's Cryptographics, well-known PulseChain Titanx influencer, who's now a founder and developed, I think, some of the best kind of tokenomics moving forward. But we're going to see how it goes. Everyone's always looking for the holy grail, right? The holy grail of crypto tokenomics. And I love it when people give it a go. And I think this is definitely heading in the right direction. So kind of cool. $808,000 in the daily pool. And we've crossed below that $99,000 Taurus mark. When we start off at 100,000, we've actually dropped below that now, and we're at 98,964. So it's already less in the pool every day, and it's going down by 0.08% a day. Now we've got our allocation here. We've got 31% of Taurus's stake, 6,200. We've got 6.3% burn, so 1,262, which I think is a pretty good mark. We've got 2,483 in liquid supply. That's gone down from yesterday, maybe down by about 100. And then we've got state supply in the LP pool. That's gone down too, 9,966. So it's gone down as well, below 10,000. And we can see the marks there. But the one we're really looking at is the shares. The shares have gone up. I think they were sitting about 2 billion yesterday when we did our live stream. They're now at 2.07 billion. So they've gone up a little bit there. What's it, about 3%? And the burn Titanx, 146.6 billion. And of course, the protocol is capturing all this value going into it. And it's got, subject to the ETH price. So the ETH price has pulled back a little bit from yesterday. But we're sitting at 98,500 plus 979. So, just below 300K there, maybe 275K. Plus we've got the buy and build, building up the liquidity. It's got another 190 Obviously, the US dollar price will move around with the ETH price. And of course, Titanx is being slammed on the ratio. So it's getting hit twice, right? ETH price goes down, Titanx ratio goes down. Titanx is less worth, and therefore the buy and burn goes down much faster, right? So that's what's happening there. And then we've got the fractal as well. It's got the Ethereum there, 39,000 plus Titanx with the ratio going down 86, but it's still capturing all that value. I think it peaked out at around about 650K. If you add that now, it'd probably be closer to 600K or so. So that is where it is. And of course, if the prices rebound, both Titanx and ETH, then up and away. So it's got the old multiplier leverage effect there. So that's kind of it. $8.17 at the moment on the market in terms of earning. If you did a creator today or a miner, 16,000% right now, which is pretty cool for an 88 day. And the stake right now is 3,600%. So that's kind of where we are on the old Taurus. Let's go to the June report and have a look at that too, and get some of the latest and greatest. So yeah, because of the US dollar combined with Titanx, it's at 700. Maybe we were over 800,000. So that's how much the ETH price and the Titanx ratio have impacted the value that's gone in here. We were over 800, now we're at 706,000. So there we go. That's the power of markets. 67 ETH deposited in there. I think we're well above 6.58. Let's actually go and have a look and see what the ranking is of Taurus. And we're only on day 14. Can you believe it? We only just did finish day 13. We see that we've got 68.06 trillion Titanx. So that's definitely a little bit lower than it was yesterday. And let's have a look at Taurus there. Yeah, almost 2.7 trillion Taurus has gone. Titanx has gone into Taurus. So it's doing very well indeed. So very excited about this. Now, did it do the 10 trillion in 10 days? No. But it's still doing very well, almost 2.7. So, and we may very well see a pickup, and that's the thing. Will we see a pickup maybe week 3, week 4? That's the question, right? I think that's something we're going to look out for. We've got 10 million Tauruses now expected in future supply. Remember how low our Taurus supply is at the moment. It is very low indeed. We've got 18,670 Taurus. That's it. But we are expecting 10 million within the next, was it 95 days, is it? 102 days, I should say. 102 days now. We're up to 102 days because obviously we're on day 14 and it's 88 days is the max. So you add those together. But yeah, crazy time. So 10 million is what we expect in the future. We're only at a lazy 18,600 right now or so. So the world is going to change a lot and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out with the tokenomics. In the meantime, we're seeing that the volume of this candle is going down every single day. So that is what cryptographics said would happen, and it is delivering. And of course, the more people that come in before we get to these big candles, the faster, the bigger these candles will fall in size. So basically, the more distributed the inflation is going to be, that 10 million, the more of that 10 million is going to be redistributed. The more people come in, gets redistributed to more and more people. So it dampens down the whale effect, let's say. Yes, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how that plays into price. Obviously, we've got the buy and burn capturing value as well. So yeah, pretty crazy. The first day that we've got really inflation coming into the system is maybe day 16, 17. We've got a little bit, still not a lot. It takes a little while there. I'm just going through the days before we actually get some inflation hitting the market. We've got 1,500 tokens coming on the 27th. We're on day 14 now. So, still got 2 weeks to go until we actually get some inflation that really will start to, add a little bit, to that 16, what I say we had, 18,600. So, it's going to be interesting to see what impact that has. Will the people restake? Will they restake when they get their new tokens, right? That's the question. Does a staking protocol, it's supposed to be a staking protocol more than an ROI protocol? We shall see. And then we keep going forward. Not too much inflation there coming up. We've got a couple of days with 1,700 or so. I think the market will be fine with that. I guess it's by the time we get to, even people sell 1,000, it's going to certainly take $1 or $2 off the market, right? But it's not really until we get to day 40, 45, we get 4,000. So maybe we won't really get a full-on challenge to the market until we get to that. And then, of course, they create 4,000 tokens. Do they then stake it for that 3,600% yield or whatever the yield is going to be in that time, whether it's a 1,200% or whatever? We're going to find out. So there we go. And then the first true challenge, I would say, is day 47. Although I do think that, that once we get that day 45, it's going to begin. But day 47, we've got 14,600. That's going to be really fascinating to see that. So we're going to find out some early clues on some behavior. These are people that have gone medium term, right? So they are playing a bit of the ROI game a little bit. So we're going to find out how they behave. And then, of course, before we get into the long-term people, which is really from this candle here, people that went 88 days, and we're going to see that flatten out as well. And we see obviously people there front running that a little bit. So we're going to see that. And of course, the future candles are pretty interesting because every day is adding less than 100,000 tokens to the pool, and we're seeing those flatten out as well. So yeah, it's going to be really fun to see this whole profile play out. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's jump into some of the other stuff here. We've got 1,083 creations, so we're going to be looking for a boom in that. Are we going to get a boom in that next week 3, week 4, week 5? We'll keep a lookout for that. And of course, the stakes there, will we see a resurgence in stakes as well? At the moment, we're sort of tapering around. We're getting about 34 creations a day the last 4 days. But are we going to get a pickup in that? Well, that's the question. Obviously, all the yields look very, very exciting. We'll see what happens there. And of course, the staking, we've had a few little stakes here and there, but not as aggressive as it was at the beginning. So will we get people staking there as well? And maybe once we get to that, that day 27, day 45, are we going to see a uplift in staking by that time as well? So it's going to be fun to see. And in the meantime, the daily pool there, pretty exciting. So we'll see what happens with the market. But certainly it is helping Tighten-X, but it needs to do a lot more volume if it's going to help Tighten-X a lot more at the moment. But Tighten-X is a bit of a steal right now as we move forward in time. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's see what the value is at the moment of the old supply. So we've got $12.9 million with the Tighten-X, but the buy and burn at the moment is how much? 16. So 16 million over 12.9. That's pretty easy math there. And we've got the 88 payout, which is currently sitting at $4 million. So $20 million against 13. That's pretty much it. So fun times ahead, I would say, for the old Tighten-X, we can say. We got Frank Whitehouse there. Bang, bang. Late gang. Yeah, late in today, Frank. But hey, look, we just hit a cool milestone on the viewership. Big shout out to everybody watching right now. Really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And yeah, Kryptonite Show daily, 8 p.m. Eastern. All I'm going to say is if you haven't hit the follow button on X, smash the follow. Heading towards 1,000 followers on there. Obviously, we had to restart our channel. Our old channel got pulled down for no good reason. But on the old PulseChain, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to smash the follow button there too. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels on the Kryptonite Show. We're streaming on Superman Crypto, and we're also streaming on PulseChain X. And particularly, I don't know, we've got a big growth happening over on PulseChain X. So big welcome to all the new people there. Good to see you, and don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't joined our strategy club, I highly recommend you join that. It is only $35 a month, fantastic value, and you can join a bunch of really smart people in there. And we've got what do we do? Monthly reports. We've got a top 10 index for PulseChain. We've got strategy chats that we have all the time, and we also pass intel in there on a regular basis, generally every day, but certainly regular. And you should join up to that as well. So $35 a month, really great value for money there. And of course, if you just want to become a general community member in the Discord, it's only $12.50. So join up for that as well. And we have links to all the different links that you want around bridges and everything else you could ask for. We also have the only crypto helpline that I'm aware of. We can get good advice and help around issues as well from a really great community that's been around for a long time. So pretty cool. And we've got awesome moderators. So get into that as well. So yeah, join up today on the Discord. And of course, Telegram. We've got Telegram over there. Well, that's free to join. So you can join Telegram. And we've got lots of cool developers and founders and all sorts of people in there you can talk to directly. So a lot of people often want to talk to teams and founders and they don't get time. Well, jump into the Kryptonite Show. There are tons of them there. And some really good people. So and they'll respond to you generally pretty fast. So it's a good way of talking to some of the founders there. All right, I think we're going to leave it there, shall we? Or should we go back and play out the bullishness on the way out there? So yeah, Hex potentially looking very, very bullish in the future. And we're just waiting for a lot of those bullish things on that list to play out. But I think we're pretty much at the doorstep of that. And sometimes it's like 4 weeks to 6 weeks after the SEC event, and then we start to get some real action. But yeah, man, if Rich Art streams again, boy, oh boy, watch out, everybody, watch out. That's going to be something special. All right, and keep a lookout for those God mode candles. Keep a lookout for those gold mode candles. All right, take care, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one tomorrow. Until then, take care, and we'll see you around. We'll see you around PulseChain, Pulse Gains, as we say. All right, bye for now.
Not a mystery. It is a repeat of the debt cycle. They are rolling the debts. They are doing the same thing each cycle. It's not to do with a halving cycle, nothing to do with any of that. It's all driven by liquidity cycle and funding of debts. Each phase, we get phase 1 of the banana zone, banana number 1. The corrective zone, banana number 2 comes. Another correction, banana number 3. So this is the banana zone. So that's what happened in 2020, 2021. Off we go. Sorry, that was 2017, which again looks very similar to this one. That was the last one. Here we are now. It can't be clearer to me. I've shown you the macro evidence, the technical evidence, the sentiment evidence. Everything here suggests to me that hold on to your hats. Don't fuck this up. Don't lose control of your tokens. Don't use leverage. Don't get your wallet hacked. Just sit with it. Be careful. Don't get FOMO. Do all of the right things, and we'll go up to the next phase of correction zone. That's going to be harder, because the next one that happens, we'll have a 35% drop, and you'll all say, is it over? And you'll definitely be sure it's over, and everybody on Twitter will tell you it's over, and it won't be over. By our work, we suggest that because of the elongation of the business cycle, because rates were higher for longer, the forward-looking liquidity suggests that, again, probabilistically speaking, without any guarantees, this whole thing goes into Q1, maybe Q2 of 2026, which would align with Trump's, trying to win the midterms as well. So everything's lined up for us. I think it started. So keep the faith, keep building stuff, and let's keep driving Siri forward with all of this. Thank you.